What is up, guys? Welcome back to the show. My name is Daniel, your host. Before we get into today's content, I do want to mention, as I do in every episode, that I do have a Patreon where you can support me for as little as $1 a month at Daniel McCormick, or I'll put a link in the description. The second way you can support me is by getting a hoodie at thewordwoven.com. That is a hoodie company that I own, that I operate. They are 100% organic hoodies, which means the cotton that is grown is never sprayed with pesticides or insecticides, which is great for people who don't want to develop sensitive skin or already have sensitive skin. Also, it's just great for people who want to be environmentally sound. They are 420 GSM, which, if you don't know what that means, it just means they are thick, heavy, and durable, and they will last you a lifetime. They will likely be the best hoodies you ever buy on the planet, and they have scriptures on the back with designs that I have done personally. If you want to show support for this channel and potentially support any future charities that I want to do in the next 6 months to a year, you can buy a hoodie or you can visit on Patreon. With that, we will get into the show. So today we're going to be talking about light pollution. Specifically, one of my favorite organizations doing work on this right now is the Dark Sky International Group. They are a group that is registering places as dark sky communities and dark sky sites. They use things such as the Bortle scale. The Bortle scale is a way to measure light pollution. There is 9 classes. Class 1 is a completely naked sky. If you go there, you will absolutely see the Milky Way in its full glory. It will be stunning. It is the way that God intended you to see the Milky Way. However, if you are in a class 9, there's a good chance that you can't even see a single star. Denver, in its most dense and polluted places, is a class 8. However, the average in the city is around class 6 to class 7. And there are places in the exurbs or suburbs sometimes that are class 5. So there are places where you can get pretty close to maybe not class 5. I think class 6 is the lowest. I might be wrong. But there are places where you can see constellations. I remember growing up in parts of southeast Aurora where you can see Orion in the wintertime, and you can see the Big Dipper, and you can see all of these beautiful stars, and they glow. However, you cannot see the Milky Way. Not even close. Not even on a new moon. Not even if you go to a dark park in southeast Aurora, you're not gonna see the Milky Way at all. And I think that's a tragedy. Not only for animals that use the stars for navigation, but also I believe that seeing the Milky Way is it's a birthright. It is a God-given right for all of us. And I don't think that you should have to compromise on the Milky Way. Call me extreme. I don't know. I think that that's just the way that I feel. You shouldn't have to compromise between living in a city and true wilderness with the dark sky. I don't believe you should have to compromise. I think it should be our goal to try to bring those things as close to as possible as we can, and I think that they should inform each other. They shouldn't be separate. The dark sky and the wilderness should inform our designs in cities, and vice versa. So with that being said, balancing safety is important when talking about light pollution, because lights do provide safety. It's just, in oftentimes industrial zones, they light up goods and assets that a business might have, that is only blocked off by a fence, and those lights keep the product safe from being stolen in the night. Or you might be walking down a street and the light illuminates that light, so you can see if there's cars coming, you can see if there's people coming, or even something as simple as you can see if a big deer is coming, right? There's different things that these lights do, and there's different, whether it be road safety, transit safety, pedestrian safety, biking safety, or just economy lights. We do need them. But there's a way that we can reduce our pollution. So Balancing safety with the awe inspiring beauty of the night sky is indeed a worthy endeavor. As a Christian who marvels at Jehovah's creation, I believe we have a responsibility to be good stewards of the light He has provided, and that includes respecting the natural cycles of darkness. Here's a multi pronged approach drawing from scientific research and practical applications. Shielding and directing the light. The International Dark Sky Association, or IDA, emphasizes the importance of a full cutoff fixtures. These fixtures direct all of the light downwards where it's needed, rather than upwards or sideways, minimizing the glare and the sky glow. This is not only about seeing the Milky Way; it also reduces energy waste. If you direct all of the light down and not out and up, you're reducing the amount of light that you actually need, and so it does reduce the amount of energy that each light consumes, but it also does preserve those stars. Studies have been shown that proper shielding of streetlights significantly reduces light trespass and sky glow without compromising safety. This is something that was published by the IDA, or the International Dark Sky Association, and there are people in the Dark Sky Association who are helping certain towns and communities just change their policies, change the codes, change the regulations for what lights are allowed to look like. And if this were to happen in Denver on a citywide scale, where maybe the mayor or the governor only gave people about 12 months to get in line with the new compliance, that would mean in 12 months, every resident in Denver would have a better chance at seeing the Milky Way. Or at the very least, you wouldn't have to go as far to see it. As of right now, due to Colorado Springs, Denver, Boulder, Longmont, Loveland, Fort Collins, there is a string that is called the Front Range. Technically, that Front Range extends all the way to Cheyenne and Pueblo, but the light pollution from Cheyenne and Pueblo is not affecting any Denver metro resident. However, the light pollution from Loveland to Colorado Springs and Castle Rock is sandwiching the city as well as Denver itself, sending light pollution into the suburbs, and this does affect how far you have to go to get a naked sky. I think my last calculation was if I wanted to see a naked sky, I would have to drive around 3 hours. Imagine if we could get that light pollution down to where I only have to drive 1 hour from the downtown urban core and I can see the Milky Way, or potentially even a naked sky. That would be phenomenal, and that would improve the quality of life of everyone, not just stargazers. I think there would be a lot of people who would appreciate it that might not know it now until they see it and they're truly amazed by it. So with that being said, the second point that we want to establish is smart lighting systems. Implementing adaptive lighting systems that dim or turn off lights when not needed. Motion sensors and timers can be integrated into these systems. Specifically in streetlights. Streetlights don't need to be on all the time, especially if there's no one walking down them or driving down them. These lights can turn off. And if these lights turn off, if you and your family are sitting on your patio and there's no one walking or biking or driving down your block, and all of those lights are off, imagine the amount of stars you would be able to see. Smart lighting technologies such as adaptive streetlights often offer significant potential for energy savings and light pollution reduction. This is a journal of Illuminating Engineering Society. Once again, hitting on the point that this isn't just about light pollution, this is also about energy savings. So, the third point is color temperature management. Shifting towards warmer color temperatures, lower Kelvin values, and lighting, this reduces the amount of blue light emitted, which significant contributor to sky glow is the blue light. Blue light is a wavelength that travels the farthest, which means that if you have blue light in your city, the glow is going to be tremendously emphasized and dramatized. So with that being said, this has detrimental effects on human health and wildlife. Emphasizing human health. This isn't just a wildlife problem. They have done studies on this blue light at night and what it does to our health. In fact, it ruins our sleep cycles. If you are exposing yourself to blue light after the sunset, especially over the course of years and years and years, with blue light getting worse and worse, the true detriments of these effects are yet to be seen until generations that are ages 10 to 30 get old, and we are truly going to see the unfortunate effects of this blue light. So with that being said, uh, reduce the temperature of the lights that are used. If the city were to put a regulation on the temperature of lights that are allowed to be used, which a side point is oftentimes the dimmer, warmer lights are oftentimes seen as more romantic and more charming, anyways. So it would probably boost tourism, and it would also reduce energy costs and allow for more stars. So, with that being said, favoring warm yellow lights can enhance our view of the nighttime sky. Research also indicates that blue light can affect melatonin production in humans, thus disrupting sleep patterns. The impact of blue light emissions from artificial lighting on nocturnal ecosystems and human health is a study done by Environmental Pollution Journal that I highly recommend you guys check out. Um, Now, the most extreme side of this would be to turn the entire city red. Now, if we were to do all red lights, this would be a very extreme measure. However, if we were to actually do this, um, it's fair to say that we would be able to see a fully naked sky, potentially even downtown. Which a lot of people think downtown is where most of our light pollution comes from, and that is not true. It is actually Commerce City that produces almost all of our light pollution. Um, in Thornton, there's a nice little hill, and at nighttime you can actually look at downtown, and the skyscrapers are not lit up, like hardly at all. It's actually a Commerce City. It's this massive white dome of glow, and that is what is producing almost all of the light pollution in the city. But yeah, if we were to turn all of the lights red, even in Commerce City, you would be able to see the Milky Way, which would be a phenomenal achievement. My recommendation would be that we reduce the temperature. Potentially, we cut down the amount of lights in half. We put the lights on motion sensors and timers. And potentially, in some zones where it makes sense to do so, maybe we do pilot a red light program just to see how much the difference between a warm light versus a red light actually affects the sky glow. I'm not saying we turn the entire city red, but I do think that if we took a zip code or something and we implemented a little pilot program, maybe for 1 month, just to see what that might look like, would be very interesting. So, zoning and light curfews is another way that we can fight light pollution. Establishing lighting zones that limit intensity and type of lighting in residential areas and parks. Light curfews can also be implemented, reducing lighting during late night hours when activity is minimal. Almost no one is out walking about at 1 in the morning. Certainly not a citizen that is, worried about safety for sure. So turning off the lights at 1 in the morning. Might be an option. Once again, if we hook them up to motion sensors, is all we're saying. I think they should be hooked up to motion sensors all the time, not just in the curfew, but a curfew is also an option. Implementing citywide lighting curfews can seem like a daunting task. However, certain industries, such as commercial retail, can be targeted, and their exterior light can be shut off or reduced after business hours. Next is public education and awareness. Raising public awareness about the benefits of dark skies and the negative impacts of light pollution, community outreach programs and educational initiatives can encourage residents and businesses to adopt responsible lighting practices. An educated populace is the most powerful tool for meaningful change. And that is where I potentially want to come in, hopefully in about 6 months to a year. Hopefully sooner, if this channel takes off and we get a lot of supporters and backers behind some of this stuff. I would love to do work in this field, helping people, educate them on dark skies and the benefits, and trying our best to reduce light pollution, specifically in places that are smaller now, especially if we get into these cities that are smaller now, before they start growing and we start implementing these things. it can have such a huge effect on all future generations. So, lastly, parks in designated dark sky areas. Designating areas within or near the city as dark sky parks where lighting is strictly controlled. These areas provide residents with opportunities to experience a natural night sky. By combining these strategies, cities can effectively reduce light pollution, enhance safety, and allow residents to rediscover the beauty of the night sky. And hopefully, one day, cities like Tokyo, Paris, London, New York, Chicago, and LA, you will be able to go downtown and still see the Milky Way. It is my dream and it is my goal to be downtown Chicago on Queens Landing by Buckingham Fountain, to look out on the lake, to look out on the beautiful skyline and see the Milky Way above me. That would just make my whole life. But until then, we have to keep on educating and doing work. So with that being said, if you like the things that I'm saying and you just want to support the channel, you can find me on Patreon. Or you can buy one of my hoodies at thewordwoven.com. The link will be in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.